at the third epistle of John. Now, the third epistle of John is the culmination of three letters, three epistles. They are not all the time interrelated, but the general theme that runs through the three epistles is basically the concept of truth, the concept of witnessing for the truth. So today we come to the third and final epistle. Okay, so let us take a look at this epistle. Okay, and the notes are before you. So let's begin. The elder unto the well-beloved Gaius, whom I love in the truth. Now the first thing you need to recognize is this. Once again, John recognizes or announces himself as his credential as the elder. To who? The well-beloved Gaius. Now as you remember, the second epistle of John was to a elect lady, a senior elect lady. But here it's to a guy called Gaius, whom I love in the truth. Now you see, loving in the truth is very important. Because when you love someone in the truth in Jesus' name, you love them sincerely for the way a Christian should love a person. Sincerely. You all understand? So that's what it's all about. You love someone in the truth because you can't have any agenda. When you love someone as a Christian, you should love them sincerely, honestly, with nothing hidden. Okay? Anyone who loves otherwise is lying. 2. Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in health, even as thy soul prospereth. Now I got to explain this one carefully because this is ensuring that we don't enter the trap of the prosperity gospel. He says, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper. Now, the soul of Gaius prosper, that means his soul is developing. Okay, the soul, the seat of conscience. So his soul prosper. But what is this other prosperity that he's talking about? Is it wealth? No. Okay? Is it other things that are unchristian? No. The prosper basically here is that it's bringing forth spiritual fruit. Okay? Prospering, bringing forth spiritual food. Good works, for example, and fruit. Okay? So what he's got to do is that say, alright, I'm a Christian now, and I got to produce fruit. Okay, and I got to produce what my Lord wants me to produce. The works of the Father. And it says here, okay, and be in health, even as thy soul prosper. Now, that is not the same. The health here is talking about good health. Now, it's not wrong for Christians to want to be physically okay. We have to be very clear. Now, when they talk about the prosperity gospel, they're talking about having good health. Try to understand there's a certain difference. The idea that I want health for wealth, or the fact that I just want to be a healthy Christian and I want to worship God and be away from diseases, that is another thing altogether. It's nothing wrong to be healthy. Okay? Sometimes maybe people who criticize the prosperity gospel may also criticize this aspect, but there's nothing wrong with being healthy. In fact, I don't believe that a Christian should walk around with the prospect of trying to be unhealthy by leading an unhealthy life. For example, smoking, heavy alcohol abuse. No, that's not what a Christian should do. A Christian should be healthy. But don't mix this up with health and wealth. The concept that, you have to be a prosperity concept of having good luck, and this kind of thing, you're going to be in good health for that purpose of prosperity. No. The health here is referring basically to having good physical health, whereby you're not inundated with diseases. Your body is clean. Okay? The body is clean. Not having things like AIDS. Okay? Or gonorrhea, syphilis, that kind of thing. And he says here, 3, for I rejoiced greatly when the brethren came and testified of the truth that is in thee. Okay? Even as thou walkest in the truth. Notice that twice is mentioned, right? John rejoiced greatly when the brethren are the Christians, they testified of Gaius, that of the truth that is in thee. That means he is a man of the truth. Now this is what I've been saying week after week after week, where I specified so many times since we've looked at the epistles of John. Okay, we've gone all together a number of chapters from John. In fact, we've done a total of 7. Because if you look at the first epistle of John, there's 5 chapters, and then there's 1 chapter for 2nd John, and 3rd John, there's another chapter. So it's altogether 7 chapters, the spiritual 7, okay, as we call it. And you look at it, one thing that has always been true, and the theme has been throughout, you notice, is the truth. The truth. And whenever they praise someone, what is the thing that they praise someone about? The truth. So anyone outside the truth is not a Christian. Okay? Even as thou walkest in the truth. Now notice that he walketh in the truth. Now, metaphorically speaking, who is the truth? Jesus. Okay? Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So he walks us in the Lord. But when you follow and you walk in the light of the Lord, that means you're also truthful. There's no deceit, no guile in you. Because he is walking sincerely in the Lord. That's a true Christian. Anyone with biased doctrinal positions are not Christians. Now let's look at this one. 4. I have no greater joy than to hear that my children walk in truth. Now, when he says my children, he's talking about the younger ones in the church because he's the elder. John always refers to the younger believers as the children. Always remember, that's the word he uses. Okay? And remember, we went through about Revelation, right? We talk about the children of Jezebel. This is the point of the children. The children are the believers of the church. So our interpretation long ago, which was way back in 2014, is correct. We are correct. We are on the right line. Who are the children of Jezebel, the people worshipping within a church such as that? Okay? Now, look very carefully. He says, I have no greater joy than to hear that children walk in truth. That means walking with the Lord and walking honestly and sincerely to the truth. And you notice that he says, I have no greater joy. Amen to that. I say amen to that. I feel that's tremendous. Okay? Now let's look at 5. Beloved, thou dost faithfully whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers. Now, he says, whatever you do it faithfully. Whatsoever thou doest to the brethren and to strangers. That means, Gaius, he's such a good man. He is not just doing it for the brethren, the Christians. He also lives a spiritually righteous life and is recognized by even those who are non-Christians. So he's a very good man. We can see that he's a man that can live with people around him. But he doesn't mix up with the world. He's in the truth. Okay? 6. Which have borne witness of thy charity before the church. Okay? Now, you notice that brethren and even strangers to that church that he belongs to said that he's full of charity for that church. It's like, for example, if you read the book of Acts, okay, you will find that in the early days, people like Barnabas and others, they sold property and everybody lived. Okay, the church was blessed. They all lived and no one was in want. And he's filled with charity. Whom if thou bring forward on their journey after a godly sort, thou shalt do well. So you see, he brings them onto the journey because some of them may be strangers. They may travel down to the city where Gaius is. And he actually goes and brings it to the godly sort because he welcomes them as a brother. Okay, and they continue on their journey through his help. So he's filled with charity, okay? And you see, they say number 7, because for his name's sake, they went forth, taking nothing for the Gentiles. So you see, what did Gaius do? He oversee and minister to the needs of the strangers and those are the brethren who visited his area, his particular church, the assembly at that location. And what did he do? They also recognized because he did what was necessary, they didn't have to take anything from the Gentiles. Now why is that important? If you take something from the Gentiles, what does it mean? It's like you're being a burden. Remember when Paul says, I don't want to be a burden to anyone. This is called being a burden to someone. Say, hey look, I need a shelter, I need money, I need this. No, Gaius takes care of those needs. He took care of those needs. That's why he's a unique Christian. He ensures that the brethren can focus on the Lord and they don't have to bring Christianity to distribute. Because if you start taking from Gentiles, they were saying, okay, they may be happy to help. But it's kind of like, try to show that you really require somebody else to do something. But he doesn't. He ensures that the brethren are taken care of and you can see the result is tremendous. Now let's look at 8. We therefore ought to receive such that we might be fellow worshippers, fellow helpers to the truth. Did you saw that? In other words, we must welcome believers and we must be fellow workers in the, what he says again, truth. Notice the mention of truth again and again and again and again. It's mentioned several times so far, around 4 at least. This is about we've got to be fellow worshippers and fellow helpers of the truth. So you see, you cannot really say, I'm serving God without the truth. How can a man separate the truth from serving God? There is going to be something wrong with them. No matter how fervent they are, no matter how much they give, they can give 90% of their income to a church. But if they are not walking in the truth, there is something wrong. And the idea that I'm going to be blessed just because I give out 90% is really the prosperity gospel. I wrote unto the church, but Diotrephes, who loveth to have preeminence among them, receiveth not. Now, he wrote to the church that Gaius belongs to. Okay, obviously he wrote to the church. It's not the general churches, but to the church that Gaius belongs to. Try to understand the context, because he couldn't have written to the churches. But you see, this guy called Diotrephes wanted to show that he's some kind of leader, some kind of power, and he received not. That means he was not even receiving John the Apostle. Think that for a while. I mean, this is the apostle that Jesus loved. I mean, we're not talking about Stephen is a very righteous man. Okay, but remember, this is one of the pillars of the church. One of the pillars of the heavenly church is John, and you have Diotrephes, and he's doing the wrong thing. Now the question is he a Christian? The answer will come in verse 10. Wherefore, if I come, I will remember his deeds which he doeth, fighting against us with malicious words. Now obviously, this Diotrephes, he was fretting. Now fretting means, verbally rambling on, right? And he was fretting on malicious words. Can you imagine now? He's not just saying, I don't agree with the doctrine here. He's saying bad things about them and slamming the very people like the apostles and those that minister John. Now just let that sink in for a little while. Think about it. There are such people in the fellowships of even the first century. You have people like Diotrephes. Think that for a while. And that's incredible. That is incredible. And not content therewith, neither doth he himself receive the brethren, and forbid them that would, and cast them out of the church. Now I think that this we can see is obviously a wolf. This is not a Christian. This is an enemy of the church. Okay, now let's give a couple of modern day examples. Okay, when I was in fellowshipping and I use it lightly, the word church of our Savior, okay, because they are really, something's wrong with that church. Church of our Savior, no, schools. When I actually brought the truth, the so-called pastor, Pauline Chong, says, go in peace. Don't tell them what you know. Now, you can see that they're actually wanting to get me out of the church. Why? Because I was telling the truth. And there are still people even till now, in the 21st century, do that. So this is something that we have to learn. These are people who are wolves. Okay? And look at what he's saying. Okay? Not content therewith. So by the way, he's not even content with not just wanting not to receive the brethren from John that John sent to Gaius. What does he do? He makes sure that others don't receive them from the church, and he casts them out of the church. Now this is obviously got to be someone in the role of maybe an elder of the church, a deacon or pastor. What we call pastor now, of course in the modern terminology, but in those days they call elder, deacon, that sort of thing. So you think carefully, this Diotrephes is a very dangerous person. Now this is an example of naming and shaming. There is this nonsense that they say, oh, you cannot say such things, you cannot mention such things. And one of the big lies of Satan is that we cannot speak up. We cannot speak up. We cannot go and name and shame and all that kind of thing. Now what is John doing right now? Isn't he naming and he's shaming? He's bringing attention to a false Christian. And this is a false Christian. Anyone who reads the entire Bible will know that this is a false Christian. It's not. A Christian will not put the brethren out. We obviously know this Diotrephes is a dangerous person. Now the question is John named and shamed. So what is wrong with calling out false Christians? Those that say that we can't, like the members of FCBC, are definitely not Christian themselves because they don't care. They do not care to show the Lord's name as holy. They are liars themselves. Okay? Now 11, beloved, follow not that which is evil, but that which is good. You see, we can't follow the evil. We got to follow the word as good. He that doeth good is of God, but he that doeth evil hath not seen God. I think this is an incredible verse that everyone should worry about and everyone should hold it to heart. Those that do evil are not of God, but those who do of the good are of God. That is so clear cut, isn't it? It's so clear cut. It just goes back to what we read last week in the second epistle of John. That says in second epistle of John chapter 9, verse 9, whosoever transgresseth or abideth not in the doctrine of Christ hath not God. He that abideth in the doctrine of Christ, he hath both the Father and the Son. It's the same thing. So you see, you can't separate the doctrine, the salvation, all that kind of thing. Now we have seen that there are also false Christians that say, oh, we are not saved by the doctrine, we are saved by grace. The way they twist it. But the point is this, if a person is a Christian, the doctrine will be right and they will abide in that doctrine and they will not do evil because they will be listening to the Lord. Doesn't that make simple common sense? So anyone that comes up to twist it around that is a pathological liar. And I'm not targeting just one person, I'm talking about generally. Okay, it's not that one person. Generally, I have lots of people in mind right now. I can floor with 50 names right now. The point is that these people are liars. Like this morning I had a conversation, just after 12 noon I think, something around 12 noon. And someone starts prattling on, prattling again, that kind of individual, and going on and on. And I put the person one by one, cut down, until finally nothing is said. All the usual themes that go along and on and on and on, and says, and misquotes me. Now I said, the person said, you don't believe, that means you believe that God has no grace at all. Then I said, why don't you come down and talk to my fellowship members and ask them, do I not talk about the grace of God? But look at the accusation. Now who is the accuser in the Bible? The name? Satan. So where is the person talking from? Satan. It's easy to see that this person is going to be burned, cindered in less than a year. Okay? Think carefully about these people. Now Demetrius have good report of all men and of the truth itself. The truth is Jesus. Jesus himself would recognize that Demetrius as a good report of all men, all men. Now you know something, if you are a good person, doesn't mean you have a good report of time. No, sometimes they will slander Christians. Even Jesus said they'll hate you because they hated me first. Try to understand, in Demetrius' case, when he says, has a good report of all men, it's not necessarily that those who hate Christianity. The all men is basically because maybe it's easy to get along and he doesn't have any issue with people, but generally speaking, it's Christians. Okay? Generally speaking, it's Christians. Now, and of the truth itself, yea, and we also bear record, and we know that our record is true. Notice again the truth, true. Notice that everything's got to be truth. Anything outside that, now if a person even shifts off and starts lying and misquoting the scriptures, we can see where the spirit in them is coming from. Now don't get me wrong, there is such a thing as an ignorant Christian, and yes, a person who's a new Christian, a babe. We have seen it from the apostles, the epistles of Paul, for example, okay? We have seen it. It can be so that a person is naive, I agree. But we've got to talk about someone who's been in Christianity just for a few months, maybe even a few years, being naive, and a person who intentionally twists the word of God, trying to make it look like they know something but they don't. You notice there's a difference? Don't get confused with that. Some people can sincerely you can misinterpret a scripture. It's not exactly a sin if it's not having a will, you understand? But if a person is trying to misquote the scripture for an agenda, that is different. Then the person is vile. Okay, now let's look at this. 13, I have many things to write, but I will not with ink and pen write unto thee. Now with the lady it says, I am having many things to write to you, I will not write pen and paper and ink. But here it says pen and ink. Okay? Now in those days they used something probably called already pen. It's something in the feathers or whatever, it's called already pen, I think. But I'm not sure of the first century method of writing, but he obviously didn't want to write it. But you see, he always liked to say that I want to see you face to face. This is so important for believers. Communication, face-to-face communication is absolutely fundamental. I totally agree with John. You see, he's got many things to say. He can write it all down, but why he doesn't want to write down? Because it's better for us to talk face-to-face. That's called communication. That's called fellowship. Okay? But I trust I will shortly see thee, and we shall speak face-to-face. Peace be to thee. Our friends salute thee. Greet the friends by name. Now, what is the last part? Greet the friends by name. I found this very useful when I read it long ago. Why? Why the friends by name? You see, sometimes it shows the sincerity of a person. Hey, he greets all of you. Hey, he greets Peter. He greets Elizabeth. He greets Deborah. He greets Joshua. Now that shows, greet everyone by name. Why? Because it shows a kind of sincerity. That you haven't forgotten anyone. That everyone is important. Sometimes there's a superficial, hey, good evening everyone. Okay, some people in companies, they may not like everyone, okay, they may even have enemies in the company, but they like to say, hey, good evening everyone. Do they really mean it? That everyone? No. Actually, it's just a general thing to make themselves look good, so it's called politically correct language. But here it says greet everyone by name. It shows the sincerity because you care for the person. You care to say, look, I'm not forgotten you. I know who you are. I remember your name, and this is what this. You'll be very surprised. Some people in companies don't even know who works with them. Serious. They can work 6 months and don't even know the whole people in the company. So this is the thing that we've got to see, and there's this logicality of it. Now let's go to the Scarlet List. The readings of the Scarlet List.